Hey, what's up, Clashers? Today I'll be sharing with you my top 3 Town Hall 13 attacks for Legend League. Legend League specifically because unlike regular farming, you'll definitely be facing all heroes up with a CC field and with a near max Town Hall 13 base. But unlike War, you don't get to scout ahead and prepare an army that works for that base ahead. And that's why I'm having this video here to show you what are the best attacks for Town Hall 13. To make this video, I rushed back to Legend, and here's some of my performance. I haven't had my 8 3-stars in a day yet, but I'm getting pretty close. Here's my first attack. And it's a Miners attack. As I was rushing back to Legend League, I did tons of Titans attack using the same Miners. Look at that. It's mostly 3 stars. There's some 99s, but it's mostly 3 stars with Miners attack. In Town Hall 13, there's a new upgrade for Miners, and it's amazing. You're going to see that. In this army composition, 29 Miners, a baby drag to funnel the queen. So there is a queen walk, 4 to 5 healers, and then a bunch of cleanup crew. Lots of wall breakers because the queen is going to play a major role. We're going to get her really deep down. A bunch of rages to get the queens going, a bunch of heals to get the miners going, and the CC we got 9 hawks to go along with the siege barrack and the royal champ. Let's identify the big 4 defenses for some early insight. Now the thing with miners is that you want to prep the base with your other heroes so that you would have a narrow path for the miners to follow. And that path doesn't have to be linear. It could be a 90-degree angle. So for instance, I'm going to start my queen walk at the bottom to clear that town hall, and then have my king on the left side to clear that path along with the siege so that my miners can go along in the middle with a 90-degree. So let's do this. Queen walk at the bottom, my healers are down, using my baby jack to funnel on the other side, and our king is going to start funneling on the other side. Our goal here is to have a queen attack that town hall, destroy that town hall first, which will be a big bonus. Okay, and we're going to take some Teslas along the way. Yes, town hall activated. Now our king, let's press the ability. He's going to start clearing along that side. Once that town hall is done, we're going to have the queen shift on the left side. Hopefully that queen is going to follow that path and start getting towards that scatter shot and the hero. And once she's about there, we can probably launch our miners. And now we're going to poison the CC and kill them off with our queen walk. You always want to destroy the CC troops before you launch your miners, because it could be air, it could be a baby drag or an E-drag, and it's just going to wipe down all your miners. Alright, I think it's about time. Let me just make sure that we get that spot with the rage. Yeah, we're going to have to use the ability. Let's drop our siege barrack to clear the site. Now let's drop all our miners. This is not the best launch of miners. You don't want them to focus on one area. You want them to be as spread out as possible within the narrow path that you've built. It looks like my queen may or may not make it. So my queen did not make it. My healers will just go towards the miner, which is also a good news. Our queen has already done a really good job at funneling the inner side. And now my siege barrack, look at that, on the top with the P.E.K.K.A. and all those wizards are funneling, are clearing the outside, which is great. That means our miners will stay within that path, that 90-degree angle that we talked about. I really hate that scatter shot. That's why I put a heal there. Our hogs are out, so let's put down our royal champ there. They're probably going to intersect somewhere around that expo area. Most of the miners are gone, but it should be fine. Let's put the rage down there and use our warden's ability now. Alright, so if we're able to get that royal champ, we got it. And that scatter shot, it's pretty much a win. And I think it is a win. Our hog rider is going to clear the rest. I've already put down all my cleanup crew. All the wall breakers that I'm dropping are just for distraction purpose. And really, I just don't want to retrain them selectively. We're probably going to have another extra 25 seconds left. So guys, miners are actually amazing in Town Hall 13 if you're able to prep the base. As you notice, this is a much more advanced attack compared to the other attacks that I've shown, or the other ones that you've seen on YouTube, because it requires prepping, funneling in a more advanced way. And that was a snippet of a previous video that I made for miners for Town Hall 13. So if you want to become really pro at it, you want to know all the tips and tricks, go to the link down below for Miners Town Hall 13. And why Miners for Legend League specifically? Why this attack? Because like I said, you cannot scout ahead. You go in, you see the base, you have 30 seconds, you're stuck with your army, and that's it. So you want an army. You want a strategy that works for as many different kinds of base as possible. The most powerful one you can find. So there you go, the Miners. And it also works really well for ring bases. Will it work for wars? Definitely. If you look at the top 2 rows, I'm at war right now, by the way. CS, SC, and even CSC, that's actually me. All the 3 stars. I've actually used the top 3 attacks that I'm going to be presenting to you today. I've used all 3 of them at war, and I got 9 stars with those 3 attacks. And I'm going to show you them to you one by one as we go through the different strategies. And since we're talking about Miners right now, let's go ahead and see how I did using Miners today at war. Remember, link down below for the full tutorial, but here I'm going to repeat the principles again for Miners. I'm going to start off with my queen, my archer queen walk, so that I can take down some good stuff. In this case, I'm going to take down the town hall. But ultimately, your goal is to also cooperate with the barbarian king so that you can funnel a narrow path. Once you have that narrow path, this is when you know it's time to launch all our Miners with the warden and the royal champ all together. That's also a reason why this type of attack works really well for ring bases, because you're going to be using your archer queen and your barbarian king to funnel the 2 sides anyway to create that path, and ultimately that breaks the ring. Once that path is created, you will launch your Miners along with your 2 remaining heroes. Now let's get back to this attack here. If you look at my queen, she's doing a really amazing job. She took down so much, and guys, that's why you need to know how you do your queen walk. Now it looks like it's almost time. Well, before that, that's right, you always need to lure your CC out for Miners. And that's why my queen went so deep down, because in case you get an E-drag or something like you're seeing right now, loons in air, it's gonna really hurt your Miners. So I already launched my barbarian king, my siege barrack to start funneling on the other side to create that narrow path that I've been talking about. I've launched all my Miners along with my royal champ and my grand warden. It looks like this is going to be a very solid win. Now look at that. So we've got the eagle. You know what? Oh, you know what? This base doesn't even have scattered shot. Number 4 had, but this is number 3 and doesn't have, to my surprise. But anyway, it wouldn't make too much difference with a base like this. I actually own one of these bases, and it's very easy to miner. So I have hogs in my siege barrack. Now they're working along with my royal champ, and it's causing havoc. And if you ask me what Miners hate the most, I would say it would be those skellies, those skelly traps, because it wastes so much of their time. So you got to be really careful when you're near high damage area and those skelly traps just start popping out. Well, it's also a way that you can design your own base that would really hurt the Miners. And so having somebody like a road champ following behind them would also help, along with the poison spell and so on. So looks like we've pretty much got everything. It's just cleanup time. We still have our queen walk without her ability used, and I just used it, and it was a very solid win. And there you go. That is the Miners attack. If there's any questions, comment down below and check the description for the link to this amazing Miners attack. And next, the next top attack that I'm going to show you is called the Yeti Smash, or specifically call it the Yeti Bowler's Siege Barrack attack that I also used at war today just to showcase it. But before we look at this at war, let's take a look at the army composition. Pause the screen if you need to. I got 5 Yetis, 7 Bowlers, 3 P.E.K.K.A.s, mostly for funneling purpose. I need my healers to get my armies going. 4 Quakes, 1 Jump Spell, and also got 9 Max Hogs in the Siege Barrack. Let's get going. So with this type of attack, you always start with the Grand Warden walk. He is slow. You want to start off with him. He's going to help you funnel. You want to funnel your core army, all of them, right through the Eagle. That's your main purpose. So while he's doing his job, you're going to use your 4 Quick to open up the core where you're going to get access to the Town Hall, to the Eagle, to the scatter shots. And look, I open up that Town Hall without activating that Town Hall defenses. That's what you want to aim for. And I'm going to start funneling, starting off with my first P.E.K.K.A, Pablo. So he's going to start funneling for me. And then finally, my second one, Peter. And then my third one, Patrick. So now that the funnel is loud, clear, and big, wide open, I'm dropping pretty much everything. Everything except my cleanup crew. So as you can see, I got my healers healing the core of it. And here's a CC coming out. Let's poison them. And we're not too worried about the eagle shots here because we've got our healers. And you drop your rages. And when you drop your rages, remember, it's not only to get your forces, but also your healers. That's one of the main goals, so that the healers under rage will always keep your crew alive as much as possible. And here we go, our hogs have been deployed from the siege. And usually when that happens, I like to also drop my royal champ near them to give them some support, some love. And look at Yeti's balls still splashing all over the place, causing damages. So at this point, I might as well drop my balloon to clear that cannon with some cleaning crew. And my royal champ here is getting low. Press her. And here we go. My royal champ is fairly low. But with this attack, it wouldn't matter much. Okay, so time to clear left and right. And here, just a little bit of pressure with a scatter shot. Let's see if our Hawks can get it down. And boom! Our scatter shot is down. And the Expo, we did not get the Expo. But that's totally fine because we still got 2 heroes with the abilities unused. Look at the Queen. The Queen is so eager to get there, use her ability, shoot down the Expo and then the Inferno, and then just call it a win. Look at her, look at her, look at that. And I think it's victory here. And I know there's a lot of people wondering why are we doing the Warden Walk and not the Queen Walk. And one of the main reasons is because with the Grand Warden, not only that you got range, but also after he's done funneling, you can redirect him to where you want him to go, which is much harder with the Queen. You just place a P.E.K.K.A. or a big unit to the direction that you want the Grand Warden to go to. And here we go. And that was also a snippet of my previous video. So you want to learn more about it, tips and tricks, details of this Yeti Bowlers Siege Barrack attack, check out the description down below. Now we're back to my war, our current war, and let's see how I did with this strategy here. I started off with the Warden Walk again. And if you ask why the Warden Walk, not the Queen Walk, it's because we can always redirect the Warden back to where you want him to go by dropping a heavier troop, like a P.E.K.K.A. With the Queen, she's just going to go away, or you will have to funnel for her. Now, I'm funneling the other side as well with my first P.E.K.K.A. Pablo and Patrick and Paul are also there right now. My Yetis, I've dropped everything because my funnel is already finished. I've already dropped my jump spell. I'm dropping my Siege Barrack, all my heroes, all my bowlers. I usually leave my bowlers last as my core army because they're kind of weak. I leave them behind. And notice that I've already dropped my 4 quakes previously and opened up to all the core big defenses, including the Giga and the 2 scatter shots. And now we've reached the Town Hall, so I used the Warden's ability there. And also because I saw the CC coming, I might have hit that a little bit too early, but I have rage on my healers, and that's very important. Every time you're dropping a rage, make sure you also touch the healer. That's more important than touching your other troops. That's how your armies will keep staying alive as much as possible and finish off your enemy's base. So we've got all the big ones. That includes the Giga Tesla, sorry, the Giga Infernos, the 2 scatter shots, the Eagle are pretty much all Infernos as well. So we are already in clean up time. This is where I rely heavily on my Royal Champ to clean up the remaining defenses, and the rest will be just piece of cakes. So I'll probably just speed it up there quickly to finish it off. But guys, this is an amazing attack. Description down below, you will find the link if you want to learn more about this one. However, why does this work for Legend League? And it's because this attack works for a variety of different bases, including the ring base that we just land on one. So when you face a ring base, you're going to be using the exact same army. So you could use this exact same army, but the way of execution will be a little bit different. You will not be doing your Warden Walk anymore. You will start off with your King and Queen to cut off a little path, and then you will spread the rest of your army across so that the middle of your army will be able to reach the core. And here's how we do it. I didn't have wall breakers with me, but since I have my jump spell, I might as well use that. So let it fight a little bit. it would be preferable if I brought in a wall wrecker with me, and I did not. So unfortunately, this is a little bit harder. I have to rely on my big guys like my Yetis and my P.E.K.K.A.s to actually break the hole through the first layer of wall. I've already used my 4 quakes to open up the middle. Now you're gonna see what's happening. Because of the way that we spread out our army, this is going to start self-funneling and then go back to the middle. I've just dropped my 4 healers, and having the healers on your core army is the spirit of this attack, or it's part of the big thing of this attack. Now the army will slightly shift back to the center under my healers' healing ability, and that's why they will keep surviving. And let me use my Warden's ability very soon there. And Warden's ability! Oh yeah, so we countered that kaboom, we avoided it, and also a few seconds from these CC troops. So I made really good use of my Warden's ability. So now it's cleanup time. I've dropped my World Champ on the west side so that it keeps going up. So I don't have too much left here. I could have done better because I didn't have my wall wrecker. That took a bunch from me. So guys, always bring a wall wrecker with you. But it looks like my P.E.K.K.A.s and my Yetis with my healers is likely going to finish everything off. There isn't anything major anymore. So guys, have a wall wrecker as a backup. So if you had a wall wrecker, you would just drop it in the center, and then your army will just keep following that wall wrecker. And it kind of self-funnel just because of the way we spread out the army. You could also sacrifice a bowler for 3 extra wall breakers in case that you face a base in Legend League that requires that, like this one. It would have been helpful. But to me, I don't bring them since I have my jump and my 4 quakes. I thought that's more than enough. I'll just work with that. And it looks like it worked out. So guys, this is the Yeti Bowler Siege Barrack attack that works for a different variety of bases. And again, look at the link down below if you want to learn more about it, the different tips and tricks. And in case that you're fighting a ring style, it's still going to be the same army, but you're going to execute it a little bit different. You're not going to be doing a Warden walk, just like in this video here. The last thing I want to mention about this strategy is avoid changing your army composition. Everything is there for a reason. I need my bowler so that I can clear all those skelly traps in a second. I need my P.E.K.K.A. so that I can funnel very quickly. Time is very important. So avoid changing unless you really know what you're doing and you really understand why they are there. Check the link down below if you want to learn more about this OP Yeti Bowler Siege Barrack attack. Next, we're going to do Air Laloon with Blimp, no Queen Walk. Let's take a look at the army composition here. So there's no healers here because there's no Queen Walk. Instead, I have a bunch of loons. Sometimes I might have 3 or 2 hounds. The Skelly spell is just in case that we're not able to get the Queen or the Royal Champ before launching our loons. So let's find our next opponent to see how this works. So at a quick glance, I think that this is a very easy base just because all the big stuff like the scatter shots, the town hall, the infernos and the eagles are all situated in one location. So let's start off with in the south with our heroes to cut off a point where that I can have my loons going counterclockwise from them and also launch our blimp so that it reach the center and hopefully get some good stuff out of it. So here are heroes down, and also like to trigger the CC. I should have left 1 wall breaker for that, but no worries because we got our king going towards the CC. So let's see if there's something in there. So as we're queen going in, so remember our purpose here is to have our heroes cut off a point. So let her get as many defenses as possible so that all the loons can stick together on one side of their queen and not scattered all over the place. That would be the best formation for your loons so you can maximize the values of the spells and the best out of their movements because they're really slow. You don't want them to go all over the place. Okay, our blimp is almost at the center. So let's put a rage there so once it lands, it'll destroy that town hall. Oh, I might have pressed that a little bit too early, did I? Oh no, it went actually perfect with the Warden's ability. I just couldn't stand those scatter shots shooting at my loons, so I just pressed that a little bit too early, but it looks like we have more than 2 minutes left while we have tons of loons remaining while a Royal Champ is ticking. Now here's the ability. Only 2 more defenses left and it's done. So let's scatter our cleanup crew and that sneaky corner hut, and looks like we're gonna be able to finish it with more than a minute left, I suppose. So guys, this is your Laloon blimp with the no queen walk version. So you start off with your king and your queen to cut off a point so that your loons would stay all on one side. That is the better formation. And as bonus, if your king and queen can also take down a hero such as a queen or royal champ, it would be a big bonus. Or maybe you want to take down a scatter shot or an eagle. If anything, it's convenient. In that case, that was not necessary. If you want to master that, the link is down below for Laloon with blimp no queen walk. Now I'm back to my war. I used this on number 1. So I've used all 3 strategies for this war just to show you that they all work. Well, in fact, I used the queen walk version here. So I've actually have the no queen walk and the queen walk version. I'm going to have it all at the description. All the links there if you want to master that, but it's very, very similar. Remember when we set the king and the queen, they're going to start off by cutting off a path so that all the loons can be sent on one side so they won't scatter all over the place. It's the same idea here, but instead we're using a queen walk so that the queen can actually reach deeper and get a little bit more. That came at a sacrifice of a lot of loons or hounds that got replaced by healers. But for this base and lots of situations, it's totally worth it. Just like now, I took down an eagle, a royal, and took down the CC2. So it was totally worth it. And here goes my loons, all on one side of their heroes so they don't get scattered too far away from each other. They can make best use of their heal spells, of their rages, of their haste. Notice that my blimp is almost at the town hall, so I put a rage there so that town hall is absolutely a goner. The blimp, the Yeti blimp, will guarantee a dead, destroyed town hall if you land it right there. Even though if there's other distractions such as a queen or a skellies, because those purple balls under rage will definitely end that town hall. Recognize that oftentimes using the Laloon strategy with queen walk or no queen walk, the formations are very similar at the end of the day. But with a base like this or a ring style, you might figure out that you might start to feel like oftentimes there might be an outstanding scatter shot or an outstanding queen or royal that is destroying your attack near the end of your attack. And that's very common. So recognize that so that you're prepared for it. That's exactly why at Town Hall 13 you have a royal champ which does most of that finishing work. But also, you would oftentimes have a poison and a skelly spell with you in case that you're facing an extra royal or an extra opponent's queen. Also, the warden's ability. The warden's ability should have been saved for that situation. Because most of the time with this attack, you should be destroying the town hall with the blimp itself and should not have the need to use our warden's ability. In this case, I've used it. I've not always been a perfectionist, but keep that in mind. Try to save that if possible. And this is your Laloon attack for Town Hall 13. Super OP. Works with a lot of different situations in Legend League, and that's why I've picked it. So if you want to learn more about it, go check the description. I would have the link for both the Queen Walk and the non-Queen Walk version. Those were my top 3 strategies for Legend League and Wars. Thanks for staying all the way till the end in this video. And because of that, you deserve a 4th one. And here it is. It's the hybrid. It's the hybrid between miners and hogs, and they work really well. But I would suggest that first master using miners so you will get the spirit of doing this one. Why will this attack work? Has to do with the fact that hogs happen to move very similarly at the same pace as our miners, and you will see that in the attack. And because they move at the same pace, you will be maximizing the value of your spells, of Grand Warden's ability. They will be tanking for each other, help each other out, and it's an amazing attack. And here's a snippet of the video that I created for this hybrid attack. Again, the link is at the description, and let's take a quick look here. First, always identify your big threats. The Eagle, the Scatter Shots, the Town Hall, and the CC that people always forget. For miners, we don't care too much about the Royals. Now, the way to attack is very similar to miners only. You would create that path, that narrow path with your heroes at first, and take down some big things if possible. So I've already dropped my Queen. So she will hopefully go up towards that Town Hall, and I will start funneling a little bit at the bottom. So we will get that king, we will get that queen, we will also get that town hall eventually. Oh, and the royal is also there as well. So that makes that queen walk extremely valuable. So once the queen is almost there, and we know it's going to happen to destroy that town hall, I've already dropped my king and the siege barrack. Another reason I had my queen walk there is so that we can lure out the CC. And I think I didn't do a good job with that poison. I should have it a little bit closer to the queen, so now she's in a mess. But it should be fine, and she will take care of that town hall. So if you look at the siege barrack, you see that red bar, it means that it's getting low. My hogs inside will start to come out. In that case, you also want to launch your miners so that they intersect at one point, because again, you want them to work together. Synergy. And also my hogs from my army troops. So we actually have a lot of hogs there if you also count the ones that are in your CC. At this point, I think this is enough. This is enough of a snippet. If you want to learn more about this, just check out the link down below. This is the miners with hogs hybrid attack. You will find a link on the description for a detailed video on how to master this. And if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below on things that you'd like to see next, or if you have any additional comments that you'd like to let me know. Also, if you're new to my channel, understand that I only do quality videos with live plays mostly, not a bunch of random replays with music on. No, that's not how it works. I will give you the detailed step-by-step insights, tips, and tricks on how to be a successful clasher. Thanks for your time. I'll see you next time.